I never can see your thumbs, so I never know. Okay, good. Hi. Welcome. Bienvenue to this lovely place on Treaty 6 and 8, which is both sides of the Athabasca, territory of Métis Region number 4, also known as the Jasper Library. Our Genius Loci sessions are generously supported by the Friends of the Library Society and by Canada Council for the Arts. These two groups fund the Writer in Residency program. I am the Writer in Residence, Paulette Blanchet-Dubé, and these are our sessions. Our genius tonight, Ailsa Ross, author of The Girl Who Rode a Shark. And before we even get into that, for people who don't know about the Genius Loci sessions, genius in this case is, obviously she's a genius, literary and mental and all. But a genius is also the genie of the place, and so a guardian or a spirit of the place. And so what we're trying to do with these sessions is find people who are the embodiment of Jasper, the spirit of Jasper. And Ailsa fits that bill. You'll see. So, my dear, number one, how come sometimes it's the girl who rode a shark and it's the woman who rode a shark?
That's entirely down to the publishers. I definitely prefer the woman who wrote a shark because that story in the book is about a woman. She's a grown adult. Yeah. But publishers have their own ideas, and at some point you was in control over certain things, such as titles or book covers and all kinds of things. And so a marketing department will decide that this goes, parents or children will prefer the girl who wrote a shark because that
so it's more girl,
speaks more to
more
them.
Young girl friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's
like the Philosopher's Stone and
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of things are out of your control.
It's
it
true.
gets to be part of a larger team's project.
So were there two publishers?
Two publishers, yeah. So there's one in the UK, 80 Publishing, and then one for Canada and North America, Pajama Publishing. So this is the Canadian North American title.
Really?
The Girl Who Wrote a Shark. Yeah.
Infantilizing. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to know because I had looked up both and I realized it's exactly the same thing, and I thought somebody was stealing your idea. But
sure.
It's just you. Okay,
It's
so
just
that's
me.
good. Okay, that's
Just
good.
in the same
So I will
illustrator.
stop there.
Yeah.
I'll stop harassing you. Okay. So how long have you lived in Jasper?
I've lived in Jasper for 4 or 5 years. I think 5 years, but the pandemic has confused my sense of time completely.
Right? Yeah, feels like longer.
Yeah, maybe 20 years, who knows by this time.
I've always lived in Jasper.
Yeah. Yeah, I moved to Canada. I'm from Scotland, but I moved to Canada in 2013 because my partner is from Calgary. So the first year was Banff, and the second year was Waterton. And then
does he work for Parks?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and so it's Jasper since then. So those are the only places I've known as being the mountain parks in Alberta, basically.
That's pretty rough.
It's pretty rough. Yeah.
Did you find it tougher to write in sort of this isolated place, or did you do the writing here for the
Yeah, I did the writing here. I did it all in Jasper, basically. Yeah, basically.
But I
It's
mean,
no
with the
done by the
internet,
library.
it
Yeah, it
right.
doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
no, I kind of like being in small places more than cities, I suppose. So it's fine by me.
Well, I follow your Instagram, so I know that the wild places really call to you. So
Yeah.
this is a beautiful place to be in.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So the next book is going to be about Jasper.
Yeah, about Jasper and about Scotland. And,
Ah.
yeah, all those places. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
That's
after.
the plan. We'll see.
So this segues into where else have you lived?
Yeah, so Scotland.
Right.
In Jasper.
Where in Scotland?
So I'm from Aberdeenshire, which is in the northeast of Scotland.
Yeah.
I near the Highlands. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah.
That's too bad. Very
Have you been over to Scotland?
Yeah, I have. It's so beautiful.
Oh, cool.
It's so beautiful. There's something about the Atlantic coast that I just love. The North Sea and that. It's just there's a weird color to the water, and it's just I really love it.
There is.
We ended up going to Iceland and then going to the most northern part in Iceland as well. And it was just something where I just wanted to walk and just keep walking to the water. I am a Viking.
It's in there. Yeah. And I lived in Copenhagen, so there's some Viking stuff going on there.
Yeah. Jane's. We just finished the Viking. What's the Viking show? The Vikings?
Uhtred.
Uhtred died? Oh, right?
Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Destiny is all. Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, cool.
And so, all your whole childhood was in Scotland?
My whole childhood until I was, up to uni. And then
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood? What was it like?
Yeah, I grew up in the countryside, and my dad's a painter, and my mom and dad run an art gallery, so I grew up in an art gallery, which was alright.
Okay.
It was a nice way to be. The only problem was my bedroom was on one side of the house, and the bathroom on the other, and so I'd often find myself in the bathroom with all my clothes in my bedroom, and then lots of customers in between.
Oh God.
And so I would just be stuck there for like an hour and a half as a teenager, just
Mortified.
so angry that I couldn't, and sometimes I had to make the dash through and just hope that no one saw it.
Just pretend you're the model.
Yeah. That's what I should have done. But so that was like lovely, of course, just to see, have new art coming into the home every single, month or two with new exhibitions. It was special.
I'm sorry, both your parents were?
My dad's the artist, and my mom is the brains.
The money.
The money, the brains, and the work. And
It's a good partnership.
all those things, yeah.
You paint at all?
I do, but like amateurly and just for fun.
So that's not yours?
That's not mine, no, that's a woman called Amy in England.
She's very good too.
She's really good, yeah. And I never met her before, and it was the publisher that found her, and I was so glad that they found her. And I was back home in Scotland that summer, in the summer essentially, and I was over in Orkney, which is a really, small set of islands in this really small town, and I was in an art gallery there, the Pure Art Centre. Everyone was masked, of course, because of the pandemic, and I was just looking at this woman that was looking at painting, and I was like, I think that's Amy. And I just like,
this is my best friend.
Yeah, and I said her, and it was Amy.
Oh,
She's from Nottingham in England, but she was in Orkney at the exact same time as me.
That's
in the
so
exact same
weird.
gallery, in the exact same tiny kind of strongness. It was pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys sign each other's copies?
We talked a lot about fish. And then we went off our separate ways. But yeah, it was amazing to meet her so serendipitously.
That's so weird.
It's so weird. Her mom does live in Stromness, so there is like.
Yeah, but still, they should be exactly there at the same time.
I know. Yeah, completely.
So it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
On all levels.
And she was lovely and funny and sweet and cool.
And then she can share your joy. Do you know what the percentage is? Like, does she get paid a flat rate?
I have no idea actually. I think often with illustrators for books they get paid a flat rate, and then with the author it's more like a royalty. Yeah, it's a set job. Yeah. So it's a different pay scale, I think.
Interesting.
But I don't know anything about that side of the thing.
I'm just happy if I get anything at
all. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you think that growing up as an artist, surrounded by artists as well too, do you think that influenced how, not that you became an artist, but that you're sort of more creative? Like you didn't become an accountant.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure it must, but there was never any pressure from my parents for me to go in any specific direction. I don't think they would have minded whatever me and my brothers did, as long as we tried to be kind and tried to be happy. So there was never pressure, which maybe other
So what did you do at uni?
I studied law.
Oh,
so
law.
I put the pressure on myself. Sure. And then realized within the first few years or day or month that it probably wasn't for me.
So you're not a full-fledged lawyer?
I'm not a full-fledged lawyer. I just have the degree. Yeah, in Scotland, you start when you're 17 years old to do the law degree. Whereas here, you have to do a degree first before you can go to do law. So it's a different thing. The same with medicine. You just go straight into medicine when you're 17 years old.
What?
Yeah. Totally different system.
Wow. So you really have to be focused.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
So it's like pre-med stuff and like more sciencey stuff. You wanted to be the doctor of med stuff?
Yeah.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that you didn't want to be a lawyer?
Day one? I don't know.
So when did you do that?
I think, I probably played books, I think, by like the second year. I was reading like Kerouac and all of that nonsense.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to like ride a train. And I want to meet boys.
It'll bring you down the wrong path.
And like money's stupid and all those things. And once you've got all that nonsense in your head, then the law nonsense is not going to happen.
Later.
Yeah.
Later. That stuff happens.
Yeah.
It happened to Kerouac later. Too.
Yeah.
So, where did you go to school?
Edinburgh.
Okay, that's for uni after.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I went to high school in Aberdeenshire in the country. Yeah.
And so, when do you start? I'm going to stick with the education for a bit.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
like, how old were you?
I went to uni when I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. And that's normal?
That's
or
normal.
are you a genius?
17, no, that's 17, no. I did all the high school years, the primary school years. It's normal to go when you're 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
What's the drinking age?
18. So you have to get a fake
Right.
ID.
Yeah. Well,
Very
that's a
easy to get.
prerequisite. You go get your real ID, your library card, your fake ID for the bar.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh,
I think we were all from Iceland or something for the 17-year-olds. We were all exchange students. I'm not sure what the excuse is to the
Keep
friends
dyeing your hair.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. Were there any teachers that were very influential for you?
I had a really good history teacher, like amazing. He just really cared about the subject and also the students, and so I think that really helped me to love history from the beginning. And I had a really good English teacher as well. She was really strict. Like, if you forgot your book for the class, then you were in detention that day.
Nice.
And I actually think it was good. Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't have. I was kind of lazy in high school, so I think I wouldn't have brought my books. I was really scared of her. That can be good. Yeah.
Fear, the great motivator.
Totally. Yeah. You see that in hindsight. That
Yeah.
At the time, maybe I didn't appreciate her, but
I think I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
Or I was a teacher, but I think they do in a way because the smaller or the tighter the box is in high school or junior high, then it gives them a place to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have nothing. That's
Yeah.
like there's no, and kids want to break the rules, and they want, so you give them like tons. They break all the little ones, and you think, oh, thank God, they haven't broken the really, really huge, like murdering and stuff yet. So this is good. Junior high is a good small, tight box, or high school as well.
Yeah.
And then also, if you have like a teacher that seems like they care, she's really strict, but then in that
you can tell
weirdness, it's like, oh, she really cares about her subject. She takes herself seriously. She takes this seriously. I should get my shit together.
Yeah. And you can tell when it's done for that motivation. It's not just to be cruel that they're putting me in detention.
Yeah, because you
they
know that
actually
too.
care. Yeah,
you
they're
know those guys too.
yeah, and that's a completely separate.
Yeah. And that can be an influential teacher too, though. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not great.
Not the best things, no.
So did anybody recognize your genius at an early age? Your history teacher? Or anything?
No.
Oh, you should probably go into history.
No, I mean, it was like a small class for the final year. There was only 4 of us, so.
4?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this sounds like my high school. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, my high school was massive, but the history class was tiny at the final year of high school.
Yeah.
So, like, we all got, lots of attention, and that really helps
Which
too.
is great, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Was it history just of European history or?
Yeah, I would say it was like super skewed towards European history. Yeah.
Wherever the books come from, anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely skewed.
So if you're interested, because I know that later on in your life you do a lot of research, and would you say that going to university sort of fed your curiosity and thinking, oh, there's got to be more to life, there's got to be more in the world, there's got to be, and then go off that way?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And
and it just blossomed from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your path then. What did you do after university?
What did I do after university?
The Kerouacs
A
phase,
lot.
yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, you can talk about
A lot
that.
of that. Yeah, so what did I do? Straight after, just loads of odd jobs for ages. I taught English in Seoul and Korea for a year.
Yeah.
I went to a kibbutz for half a year. Just anything to live out the bohemian nonsense that was in my head, essentially. And then that kind of, while I was doing all those things, I was doing a little bit of travel writing assignments, and then that kind of grew and grew. So for a few years, I was working as a travel writer / editor, and then I started kind of realizing that it's not really sustainable for us all to be gallivanting around the world, and we're in a climate crisis, and so that was like a big kind of dark night of the soul. And eventually, I decided that I wasn't going to do that kind of for-profit travel writing anymore, because it just doesn't seem.
It's not sustainable.
Sustainable, yeah. It's not right. So.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's kind of hard to to justify the, I don't know, it's like frivolous. Do you know what I mean? But then it's not only frivolous, then it also becomes detrimental for the planet.
Yeah.
But I can make a paycheck. Yeah, but
Yeah, so it took a while to kind of.
Yeah. Well, nowadays I think that's smacking us right in the face.
Yeah, no, it's
Good,
really.
good choice that you decided to veer away from that for a while.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely don't regret it.
No.
No.
So when you were though dancing with the devil, shall we say?
Yeah, I love that.
Did you write the pieces and then send them off to specific magazines, or were there magazines that were sort of subsidizing your journey?
Yeah, I was normally pitching, so I would pitch an idea and then write it up if they accepted it, and develop, relationships with editors where hopefully they would say yes to most of those ideas, or even come to me with ideas. That would be really nice, because it's hard even doing pitches. It takes quite a while to come up with the ideas and make it sound desirable to the editor.
And then there's all the work that goes behind after.
Yeah, and all the edits and all the chasing up invoices and all those things. So if you can find a good editor that pays on time and all those things, that's
that pays on time.
Really nice. That's rare. That's rare.
So rare.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so naive. Okay. I know, right? It'd be so glamorous, but it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of admin. Yeah.
So that probably might have been a reason too to sort of steer away from that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's across the board. Like all parts of the industry are like that. I think. Yeah, it's not just the travel industry that has
like
this issues.
throwing pitches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki Wilson was here at the beginning and March, and she was saying the same thing, that you start off small, you sell yourself, you have the pitches, and then you make up these relationships.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really good sort of tip for people who want to do any kind of writing, period.
Yeah.
Is you have to cultivate those relationships.
Yeah.
Even if everything seems really like antisocial or far away, you're zooming and you're doing whatever. I just got a publisher who wants to talk about a book that I had pitched.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But instead of the usual, just emails back and forth or whatever, he wants to do it on Zoom.
Oh, nice.
So it's somebody who needs to see my face.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I hope this sells.
Yeah. I'm sure.
It won't. But it's really cool that there are still people who, it's easier to deal with people.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And then you
and it's
understand.
easier to talk as well, I think, than emails.
Yeah, because then there's tone, right? And then all of a sudden you're reading an email and you're like, I don't like that tone. And
you have to decipher the smiley faces and the exclamation marks. And
if anybody writes me an email, this is for everybody out there, then does an emoji halfway through.
It's over?
Yeah.
It's like
you have to use the word. Like I understand the pictographs and I understand all that, and the hieroglyphics and the and everything, and that's cool. But in a business letter or in something that's more formal, and then they stick in a happy face, I mean, if I can't tell that you're happy, probably choose another word.
Sure.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of all, now you're sort of settled, shall we say? So what would be a typical day be like for you? If you're writing.
If I was writing, yeah. I write most days, I'd say. But the thinking days are more fun, I find.
Yeah.
But probably a typical day, or ideally I'd probably be up at like 4 a.m. and I'd have finished all the writing by 7, but that doesn't happen.
Okay.
That happens like once a month, maybe. Yeah, if I'm in a bit of insomnia, it might happen. But normally I wake up by 7:30 and I'm always like super sleepy for the first hours, and I just sit there with coffee or tea and maybe I like poetry actually in the mornings, or maybe dancer books because my mind feels like fresh enough for more dance or difficult books. So I do that for a while, and then I go for a walk. I have a dog, and she's an early morning kind of girl, so we go for a walk.
Needs to pee.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah, and I think a lot when I'm walking. I find like ideas come to me more easily when I'm walking. I think you're the same.
Yeah.
And then hopefully just do some writing for a few hours before doing the paid work that's the day job, and hopefully it just goes well.
So
nice.
the writing that you do when you come back from your walk, let's say, and you've been thinking about stuff, is that like to get the lead out, like to to just clear the air, or and then you go to your day job.
Yeah, well, I feel my mind is freshest and best in the mornings, and I want to use that for the stuff that I care about and not stuff that's for a paycheck. So I try to like make the most of my earliest hours and my early morning brain because.
Well, then what's that writing then?
What's that writing?
Yeah.
That's like quick writing. That's manuscript writing. So I have grants for it, but it might not get published, or it might be rubbish. So I know. It might just be for myself, and it might just not work. I won't know until I've completed the manuscript, I suppose. Yeah. So
it doesn't just flow from your pen.
I know.
Become a novel.
I wish.
I know some people can do that. Just like
I know. Some people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the beginning doesn't even make it to the end. You think, oh well, there's like the fourth draft.
Yeah.
Do you have a file for dead babies?
Yeah, I have a lot of files for dead babies. There's a lot of them.
I know, right? There's probably more dead babies than real live ones.
Definitely.
I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is, but I think that's the whole part of writing too, is like you just write everything.
Definitely.
And then as a sculptor, you come back and you just sort of make it into a beautiful.
Yeah, and there's so many people that do those morning pages when you first wake up and you just write for 15 minutes, I think, and it's meant to be trash. Like, you're not meant to write for your manuscript or to any intended purpose. It's just to take the dream state. Yeah. And that sounds pretty healthy. I think it helps you let go of seeing all writing as, I don't know, being a product that will go somewhere.
And then that just sucks the life out of it. Yeah. Everything you write is product.
Definitely.
Then it becomes, I think, really robotic, and it loses that juice. You know? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I write in the morning as well, so it's just something that has to be. It's almost like I have to do it before I can write anything else. Yeah. Otherwise, I stutter all day long. It's crazy.
Do you do it every day, or?
I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I walk about, I don't know, 5K every morning, and then come back and then do the writing, and then do the work. So people say, how do you spend your day? Well, by myself. And it doesn't feel that way. Like, I don't know about you, but like walking right now, there are so many different animals out there. Everything is waking up, even the crocus. You stop and have to pet the crocus and
you
stuff.
have to. They're little mice.
They are. They're so cute. So happy. And it makes it just like it's a really full day. It feels really full.
Definitely. And I like to, like, when I first wake up, remind myself of what feels important to me, which is the whole world of nature. It's not what's on my Twitter feed or whatever. Like, it helps me just understand the world as a broader thing if I go out first thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, because they don't. If you're stuck on Twitter and like whatever newsfeed, whatever social you're on, all of a sudden it's just everything is kind of depressing right now.
Yeah.
And a little bit just on this side of hopeless.
Yeah.
And you think, oh my God, I can't take one more terrible thing.
Yeah.
But then I go find the crocus and it's
perspective.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're really, without a doubt, really lucky to have this as our background as well. Because it does really give you perspective. What do you think? These mountains, and then there's us. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you, one of the questions is, do you write for fun? So that's your...
I would call, I mean, I have grants for it from Canada Council and Alberta Council, but I still call it fun because I don't know if it's something that will be for money, so it's fun for me just now. And it is fun to do because sometimes it's horrible and hard. It's mostly like my favorite thing to do most of the time, or some of the time.
That's why you become a writer, though.
Yeah.
You know? Well, okay, so here's a question for you. Do you think you're born a writer or do you become a writer?
I have no idea.
Right?
I have no idea. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I've always wanted to be able to express myself somehow. There were a lot of artists in my family, sculptors and painters. I can't. They're singers, they dance, they play instruments. I can't do any of that. So I think I just had to find something that I was good at, because it was never said that you had to, it wasn't expected. They expected very little. When I draw, you draw and you go, oh, it's like my horse. That's not a horse, it's a dog. And you think, oh, okay. So, but writing was something that I found easy in a way, and then just got better at it because you practice so much. And then I loved reading, so
yeah,
I think that goes.
I always love reading for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone is creative.
So, yeah, I think so. You just have to find what it is, because if you don't, you're so miserable.
Sure.
God.
Yeah.
Just draw. God, like do something. I was with some kids this afternoon in a class, and that's one of the things we were talking about was how to find your voice, and whether your voice is writing or whether it's art or whether it's dancing or whether it's something. Do something, because you will be miserable for your whole life. And some of them are either at that surly kind of, I'll always be miserable. That's my job.
How old were they?
Good. Grade 9.
Great.
So 13.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a tough age.
Oh, it is so tough. But I hope that they will, because by the end of it, they were all writing.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. One kid was drawing, so that was good too.
Yeah.
So I hope so.
And you can keep it your whole life. That's the nice thing.
And you just get better.
Yeah.
Right? Like as you go on, you just get better.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
And it doesn't matter either, even if you just stay the same. It's just it's a nice thing. Yeah.
It gives you, when you're stuck in a bathroom with no clothes, you can amuse yourself.
Yeah, you can just start a poem in your head.
Start writing.
Yeah, and I think like a big peer-reviewed study just came out this week or last week about loneliness and the pandemic, and they found that if you have an activity that induces, the flow state, where you lose yourself in activity, that's like the best inhibitor of loneliness, and that's so nice because it wasn't saying, you have to do this thing with others, you have to go to the community hall, which maybe you can't do for 1,000 reasons, including COVID. You can find this thing which is normally a creative thing, recycling or anything like that also induces flow state, but it's good to have something.
And I think that anxiety, the record that has been playing in people's minds as well, if you can just lift the arm off the record for just a couple minutes.
Yeah, totally.
And then put it back on, it's fine, but it's just you get stuck in that over.
Definitely.
Yeah, the flow is a beautiful thing. It's better than a lot of other things. Say drugs, but you can't. We won't say that.
We won't say that.
We won't say that. Okay, where am I? Is your day job writing, or do you do other things to pay the bills?
I do editing, and fact checking as well. So they're both related to writing, but I only have so much juice for writing in the day. So I think if I did that as my whole day job, I wouldn't have any energy for my own creative writing. So to do these related things, editing and fact checking, I think makes me a better writer. Of course, you have to edit your own work and hopefully make sure the facts are okay. So they're related but not the same. Yeah.
So how did you get that gig? Like to be a fact checker and a researcher?
How did I? I mean, I just applied for a travel editing job when I was 24 or 25, and just kind of learned on the job. I just had a really nice boss that taught me how to figure out where to put periods and commas and all those things, and understand style guides, and Chicago manual style and all those things. But I didn't have any formal training, but I've been doing that for 10 years now.
So if somebody had a novel, let's say, somebody out in our vast viewership, would you be interested in editing their book?
That's not something that I do personally. There's people
it's a
trained for that specific thing. I do magazine articles, basically, and feature articles, and
And then with that too, if you're with a specific magazine, then there's a specific style, there's specific vocabulary, there's a slant, there's all of that.
Yeah, they all have specific style guides and tones as well that they want to.
It's good to know, because there are some people who assume that because you're a writer, then you can edit their book for free. But also that you would love to, and it's not. It's a different skill altogether. It really is.
It is definitely.
It's heartbreaking. And it's really, I have a really good friend who was a translator, and so he was so generous with his editing time. But he brought something completely different to it. So it was really interesting to see. But I would never do it.
No, not for you.
I don't think I would ask him to do it again either. It was hard for him. It brings your friendship really far and then really close, and then,
Definitely.
I guess it's really interesting.
Find someone more removed.
Yeah, probably. and then be willing to pay $1 a page.
Yeah.
Which is what they charge.
Yeah.
So
That's
great.
good.
It's a lot of work. In 2019, you were the writer in residence at Burton House in the Yukon.
Yeah.
Wow!
It was super cool.
How did you get that?
It was like 3 months just living in my own
That's so
head.
great.
So nice.
Oh my god! I saw that. Did
Yeah.
you have to bring in like I don't know, part of a manuscript, or how did you?
So I just applied, and I think you have to publish a book, and you have to be resident in Canada to apply. It's through the Writers Trust of Canada, and then there's 4 people a year go up, so you get 3 months each in Pierre Burton's childhood home, right opposite some poet's cabin, and Jack London's cabin Stanley.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're right.
Is it like Author Alley?
Yeah, it is essentially. I think people, in winter it's very quiet up in the Yukon and up in Dawson City, but in summer there's a lot of tourists that go up to Dawson City, and so I think if you're the writer in residence in summertime, then you just have people walking into the door to see Pierre Burton's house.
Maybe like a museum.
Yeah, and then it's a little awkward. Then you're in your your bathrobe saying hi. So yeah, and it was just most things are. And it was just cool that you were just there, self-directed.
Yeah. Did you get to pick which 3 months you were going to go?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you picked winter?
I picked winter.
Of course you
Yeah, it's more fun.
Oh, Northern Lights?
Exactly.
Oh,
Stars.
for sure.
Nighttime.
Nobody,
all the time.
Yeah, and nobody there.
Nobody there.
God, the quiet must be crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the river, completely freeze over, and huskies sitting outside the store waiting for their owners to cross back over the frozen river to their houses on the other side of the river.
Just a different world altogether.
And they have a lot of money to do arts programs up there. There's a whole arts college up there, so there's loads of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds in Dawson City. It's about the size of Jasper, but they have kayak and they had all these. An opera came when I was in time from Montreal, and a ballet show came from Toronto. They have a really good investment in the arts up there, so it's a really fun place to be.
Well, I think because it's so isolated.
It's so isolated, yeah.
Which is cool. We lived in Fort McMurray for a while, and they have the Piano Arts College there.
Yeah.
It's musicals, like you said, ballets, and big stars coming in and doing the shows, and you think, why are you here in Fort McMurray? But it was great because we didn't have to go to Edmonton, which was already 5 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was so great.
That's pretty special.
Oh, so 3 months, can you go back?
I don't think so.
That's it, eh? Just a
I
year,
think so.
just once in a lifetime, that's all.
Once in a lifetime, and then it's all over.
God, because there's so many people that try to get in there. That's so great, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
Yeah.
Did it influence anything that you were writing? Are there any dog sled girls in there?
There's no dog sled girls.
I didn't think so.
There should have been.
There
I
should
probably
be.
would have done one
Right?
after. I did go dog sledding when I was up there.
Did
and
you?
then I wrote an article about it, yeah.
Oh, that's
But,
cool.
Yeah.
It's for research.
Yeah.
It's strictly research.
Yeah. Well, I made sure to find an all-female
Oh,
sledding
cool.
at fair.
Yeah.
And so this woman and her 4-year-old girl took me at dog sledding. It was really fun.
Oh
And
my
she had her
God.
baby on her back.
No.
It was very fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So is Dawson City, is it spread out like Jasper? Or is it really kind of
It's about the size of Jasper, I would say.
about
It's pretty spread
5
out.
kilometers?
It's pretty long.
Wow.
It's a pretty long little
They
town.
have the most beautiful brochures there.
Yeah.
We were looking at teaching up there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to get further and further north. I don't know why, but
Just
the-
calling. The call of
so
soil.
gorgeous. So gorgeous. And it doesn't really bother me to think that you're so isolated.
No,
It's like, yay.
it's kind of special.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
there's not much of that
No,
in the world. So.
no. This is a lot like that too, though. Right? Except we get a lot of tourists, but it doesn't get as dark as it probably does in Dawson.
Yeah, I think the sun was rising. I was there for solstice, so I think the sun was rising maybe 11 a.m. and setting at about 2 or 3.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah, short days.
Short days.
Yeah.
Which was exciting when you know it's only 1 winter. It's just a new experience.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to bring your sun lamp, right?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
There was something else. There was a Banff Center residency of the Mountain Wilderness Writing Program.
Yeah.
Right? So for people wanting to experience writing opportunities like these, what would you tell them to do first?
I'd probably tell them to maybe, if they have a piece already or a piece they could work on that they can make as good as they possibly can, then they can use that to apply for all these different workshops. So if they could just make one thing really polished, then they can use that again and again and again for whichever workshops or residencies they're applying for. And I think people who are on the judging panels for these things, they only have so much time, so you do want to put your best foot forward. So unfortunately, probably do try and publish one or two things somewhere, just to show that you're serious about writing, because they just have to make these snap decisions.
And I know that the Burton House and also probably the Banff has like thousands of people who are asking to come and do so.
But it's a big range of people. Some people are New York Times bestsellers, and some people have only published one or two things.
Really?
So
Like
I found that at Banff Censor, which was really nice. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was based on the writing sample. So that's the thing, if you have this really great polished writing sample that you believe in, then that really helps, and I think that's the main thing.
And make it as strong as you possibly
can.
can.
Like I was on a judging panel when I was in the Yukon for the Yukon Arts Grants, and the writing samples really matter. So just try to make that one.
Find out where to put the periods.
Ask someone else to look at it. All those things. Just put your best foot forward.
Okay, so I guess a question that would have come even before that, before your writing samples are all ready, how do they find out about like the Burton House or the Banff Center? Like, I know that there are people who have little like binders full of their poems or articles that they want to write or whatever. So how can they, if they want to scope out, how do you find those places? You just Google places I can go? Or, Write this down.
And for sure. There's one website is Submittable. And that's a lot of these places, not the Banff Censor, but a lot of these residencies and workshops, you have to apply through Submittable. It's a platform, but there's also a search function in Submittable where you can look up, for example, writing nonfiction residencies, and you can see all the deadlines in a neat line, so you can go, oh crap, tonight is the deadline for this one that I really want to do, and then it's just Googling residencies Canada 2022 workshops.
I don't mean to sound like incredibly ignorant, but when I got started, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a residency.
Me neither.
So I would have Googled. Well, I wouldn't have Googled because it was dinosaur time. in retrospect, I would probably say, where can I go? What can I do? That sort of thing. I have this kind of writing. Whatever.
I had no idea until a few years ago either, and I was like amazed. People just get to go on holiday and write, essentially. It's great.
It's really great.
And they're all over the world. They're in Iceland, everywhere.
Oh, the Iceland one is phenomenal, and it's also very difficult because what did she say? 15,000? 15,000 people applying. She said before we did it, and it was just like, you write it, and you with the stamp and the whole thing, and there were like 4. But then all of a sudden this internet thing started up, and she said like there's 15,000, 30,000 people, and they make a big point of it of saying, if you are applying, don't think that this is going to be the trip around Iceland. You're coming to Iceland in this specific place, you're going to be writing, this is a serious thing. And I thought, why do you have to say, because people just want to go to Iceland because it's cool.
And there's often fees to apply. Like it's nice to have a little kitty, just because competitions and workshops and things often have a reading fee. And even if it's only $20 or $5, it adds up.
5 places is $100 right there.
Exactly. The Banff Center, I think application fees come up. So it's good to have a kitty and just be aware that you're going to need a kitty to apply for these places if that's
nothing is
your
free.
wish. Nothing's free.
Nothing is free. So if they say it's free, you're the thing that's being sold. So be careful on that. Because there was like Submittable. When did I start? I think it started when a lot of the magazines and a lot of perhaps even the competitions or whatever. And residencies too, all of a sudden they didn't want to do it themselves because they were just overloaded.
Yeah.
So then Submittal was born, and it becomes like this funneling agent
Yeah.
that goes down there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was another function to it.
Yeah,
though.
it's
We're
nice.
not
It's
talking
not
about the
perfect,
residencies.
but it's, you know, it's useful.
At least it's
enough.
all in one place.
It's all in one place,
That's
exactly.
important.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Do you write pieces? No, we did that one already. Oh, advice for beginners. And this is nonfiction, but you also write fiction, right? Like, is your book going to be fiction?
Yeah.
I keep pointing over there because that's where you had said the juicy one is. So
Yeah, this is
that
my
one?
imaginary fiction book. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Going into it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's way more fun.
Very
Really
nice.
cool that. Advice for beginners.
Yeah.
Just write
Every day.
every day. Or think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just write. Don't worry about it too much.
And maybe don't. I'm just going to take some words out of your mouth,
Yeah.
but don't assume that everything's going to be a product,
Yeah.
right? Like, just have fun.
Don't try to make it perfect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be aware that loads of it will go in the traction. That's totally fine.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
And that also like the journal part or the morning papers that you
Mhm.
write or whatever, the morning pages, that's just for you.
Yeah.
It really isn't for other people.
Yeah.
What do you think about people who it's not even, I guess they're kind of blogs, but they're more like, well, they say they're blogs, so it sounds professional, but it's really not. It's just like they're journaling in Facebook or whatever other social media. Would you ever do that? Would you ever put your stuff up like that? That's raw and as, I don't know, unnecessary as that, I guess?
Not personally, but I think I'm probably quite private and quite shy, so I like to play with stuff myself for ages before it goes out.
Yeah,
And I don't feel the need to. I think I'm like I love solitude, so I feel quite happy just talking to myself on a page, I think. But everyone's taking.
You don't need the 65 likes to get your ego.
I feel like we all have an ego, so I must. But I'm also aware that the 6 likes or 0 likes does things to my brain that's not healthy, so I'd rather just do
Did you know
as
that
little of
each
it as
click
possible.
or each, I don't know, each like thing is supposed to give you a little shot of endorphin?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's why
It's
we do it.
addicting. Yeah. As soon as this is over, I won't have an Instagram. But I need it for my job.
That's how they get you.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And then, yeah. How would you, once the person has written things, polished it, gone on to Submittal, found all that stuff, are there any steps that you would say, okay, now you need an agent, now you need a website, now you need, like, how would you protect and promote yourself at the same time?
I like the idea of protection. I think that's really important to protect yourself at the same time, but just, you know, it's not so difficult to make a website, so why not? You know, have a
Easy
have a
for you
landing
to
page
say.
for people to find you.
I'll be calling you.
My services are available. But yeah.
More money.
Yeah, agents, if it's a non-fiction book you're suggesting, then you only need a proposal, so you don't need to have finished a full manuscript. You need a couple of sample chapters, and then it's hard work for sure, but then you also need you know, the summary of what the book is about and comparison titles, you know, what other books are like this one that you're writing, and so that's all you need for
Your pitch.
going to the agent for non-fiction. But if it's fiction, you still need the full manuscript, so that's when you go to the agent once you've got the full manuscript.
You don't go to the agent with an idea?
You can try.
I had a dream.
You can try.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want that agent, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah. So that's why it's nice to just, you know, it's all in increments though. Nothing's gonna happen overnight.
Does the agent? Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't think it's not like Hollywood. Like, it doesn't feel Hollywoody.
No.
Like, it's a long haul.
Yeah.
It's a long slog. But when you love it, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, the days just keep ticking, so at some point you've got the body of work.
Yeah, it's
behind
true.
you.
It's true. Yeah. And all of a sudden you look back and you go, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much, did you have an agent when you were
Yeah.
pitching that around?
Yeah.
So it was all done? Or was there an
So I did it all just because I wanted to. Because I was like, well, this might never be a book, but I want to have a manuscript altogether. So I did the full thing, even though it's non-fiction. And then
that's a good idea, though.
Agents. Yeah.
And how did you find agents? Did you again Google agents? Get out! It's everything.
No, Google it.
Get out!
Yeah, the computer's got
Okay, it is so easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. Then somebody just said, yes, what a great idea, and we'll run this around the world for you.
I think she asked. So you don't send the full manuscript with your introduction email. They'll go and ask for the full thing because I'm sure they're more inundated with the pandemic. So then you send the full thing, and then hopefully they say, great, we would love to sign you, and you look over the contract and you sign it, and then they know all the publishers and editors, and they have the ideas of which ones will fit the idea that you have, and they'll hopefully make you sign anything with their pitching of your book and of you. So they do all of that.
It saves a lot of time for you too.
Yeah.
Then you're not pitching it to a publisher who goes, we don't do girl books.
Yeah. Like probably when they're signing you, they already have an idea in mind of who they're gonna pitch to. Yeah. And
then they get, I don't mean to be
then they get a cut.
money wise, but really,
exactly.
like a percentage of the sales or the contract?
Percentage of the contract, so a percent, so you get given in advance.
Okay.
And they get a percentage of that, and also a percentage of royalties. And there'll also be a foreign agent within the agent house who'll get a percentage for foreign rights that get sold.
So you sell the book for like $100, so that everybody gets a nice cut.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So you don't make $1 million, or have you made $1 million?
No, I still haven't made $1 million.
We were talking, Nikki, about big bags of money, right? So.
Do you have one of those for me, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a smaller envelope.
Okay, that works. I'll take all the envelopes. Yeah.
Okay, so now that we're on the book, was there something that you wanted to read from the book, or was there something else that you wanted to read?
I could read something from the book.
It's up to you.
Yeah. I don't know if I should do the woman who wrote a shark. But I feel like that makes sense because if I can find her, it's been a while.
It's nice to look at it again.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see all the illustrations.
It's beautiful. It really is a beautiful book. I think my niece is gonna love it.
I hope so. Almost there, I think. She must be in the sports people section. Athletes. I think we're almost there. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be Kimmy Werner.
Okay.
She lives in Hawaii. So this is her story, The Freediving Chef Who Rode a Shark. Kimmy Werner grew up in a little cottage in tropical Maui, Hawaii. Living in the countryside, her childhood chores were a little more exciting than other children's. She collected eggs from the garden chickens. To collect the mail, she rode her pet pig down a dirt road to the letterbox. And when her father caught dinner by spearfishing in the Pacific Ocean, Kimmy joined him. In her 20s, Kimmy left home and began working as a chef in the city. Life was good, but she always felt something was missing. When had life last felt fulfilling? Kimmy realized it was as a child, playing in the ocean. To get back out in the water, she took up spearfishing and freediving. The human breath is a short moment of time, about 4 seconds. A freediver stretches that moment into minutes. With careful training, she learns how to explore the underwater world without oxygen tanks or scuba gear. She starts each dive by slowing her breathing rate. She takes calm, deep breaths, in, out, in, out. Her heart rate decreases, her body relaxes. Then she plunges into the water. When you dive deep, you feel great pressure squeezing your body. That's because water is nearly 800 times denser than air. But to Kimmy, the pressure feels cozy, like a hug. Holding her breath in the water for up to 5 minutes, she goes spearfishing for octopus, snapper, and silver wahoos. She's so good at what she does that in 2008, she won the U.S. National Spearfishing Championships. In 2013, Kimmy was on a shark research expedition in Mexico. Under the water, she came face to face with the largest great white shark she had ever seen. It was 17 feet long. It was coming straight towards her. Kimmy let out a squeal. She began swimming in the shark's direction. All of her years in the water had taught her how to read the body language of marine creatures. The way the shark's fins were out, the way it was moving, all showed Kimmy that this shark was good-natured. It was curious. It was just like her. Kimmy reached her hand out and gently touched the shark's fin. Then they went for a swim. The spearfisher and freediver, Kimmy is as close to being a real-life mermaid as it gets. But in another life, she wouldn't like to come back as an ocean creature. She'd love to be an Ewa bird. It gets to dive into the water in search of fish to eat. It also gets to soar high above in the sky. And she says, adventure means that you let your curiosity lead you into the unknown, and you take the wild turns and lessons that come with it. It will rarely be easy, but you will always grow.
That's so cool.
She's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet her?
I've spoken to her through my computer, so we're friends digitally. Yeah.
Pixel friends.
Pixel friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever touched a shark?
I've never touched a shark.
Sandpaper.
Really?
Like you'd think it would be
smooth.
Yeah.
And silky. No. Not really.
No. It's like people think snakes are slimy.
Yeah.
And they're not. They feel like leaves.
Yeah.
And then these guys are.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that a whale shark that you touched?
I think so.
Sorry.
I didn't. But people have told me that it's not as smooth as it looks.
It's not.
I know, right?
Should have added that tail in there.
Maybe the next one. It's
It
the
was
next
like
one.
sandpaper.
Yeah. God, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And so how many? There are 50 in there?
52, I think. Like
Wow.
one for each week of the year, I think was the idea.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then divided into categories like
Yep.
sporty people, seekers who are more into the spiritual stuff, and activists, and all of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a great book. Where can people buy it?
They can buy it online and in bookstores.
Anywhere?
Yeah.
On the
Anywhere.
internet?
On the
They just
internet.
Google it?
Yeah,
Okay,
bookshops.org is a nice one.
Yeah.
Audrey's in
Yeah.
Edmonton is
Audrey's.
a nice one.
Yeah. Okay.
Another shop in Calgary. Yeah. The independent places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are all good.
Good book. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to finish up, really quick questions. Ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Are you superstitious?
Maybe.
Liar. Yeah.
It depends if it's dark or not. If the lights are off, I'm superstitious.
Yeah, righty. Well, you want to hedge your bets.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
Did you ever, when you were up north, did you whistle at the Northern Lights or speak?
I heard people like saying the kids
It's crazy.
hear it sing. Yeah.
I can hear them. Like when we lived up north,
Mhm.
it was amazing. And so I had come into class and I was saying, I had to cross a cemetery to get from my apartment to the school.
Yeah.
And so I was crossing the cemetery and I see these lights and I could hear them and they were sizzling and crackling and popping and it sounded really high pitched and it was crazy. So I was telling the kids about this and they're like, oh, miss, these are the native kids that were there. And you didn't talk. Like you didn't call them. You didn't say, oh, wow, or start to sing. I said, well, no, I don't think so. And they said, if you do, they come and they take your spirit. And then you walk around this zombie for the rest of your life. Then it was scary. Because then I couldn't remember if I had it or
Yeah,
not.
definitely.
But how do you know if you're a zombie?
Now I'm worried that I was saying a lot.
See?
Yeah.
Keep wearing them.
Yeah.
That's your
Keep
good
wearing
one.
my bird.
2 words that would describe you at your best.
No, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Give me these questions. You're
17.
supposed
I
to
know.
correct. Okay.
I feel like I'm 17 people. I don't have a self, I don't think. I think I've got 17 selves. So.
Okay, so what are the first 2 words that come to your mind if somebody goes, oh, I wonder what Ailsa is. What's an Ailsa? An Ailsa is a...
Superstition. I don't know.
Okay. Superstitious Viking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those ones.
That
Perfect.
works. Okay.
That's my t-shirt for the future. Yeah.
What does success look like to you?
I think just writing that feels true and beautiful.
Your mom did a good job.
I'd have to like sincerely believe in what it is. Yeah.
What would you like to be, or where would? Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to be, or where do you want to be? That's 2 huge different questions, though. Let's say, where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years?
Alive.
Okay.
And
Good.
happy.
Do you think you'll stay here?
I don't know. I'm
Is that
like, yeah. It's just at the whim of my partner's job, essentially.
Which is not a bad gig.
It's not that big, but it's not permanent, so
Nah.
yeah. It's at the whim of Parks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with that.
Exactly.
What
That's why I can't like 3 years in the future. There's no point,
Not even 3?
thinking in permanence.
Does he go contract to contract then?
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god.
Yeah.
Is he a biologist?
Environmentalist. Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your dream job?
Dream job would just be like all the money coming in.
Big
And
bags of
freedom.
money.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just writing books and not having to do the gigs on the side to keep things
Just
going.
one. I just keep thinking of J.K. Rowling, right?
Sure.
She pulled so hard for so long, and now it's like kick back and
Yeah, she really gets to kick back.
she.
Yeah, I don't need to kick back that much.
I don't want a castle.
No.
I think
It's too much. Yeah.
maybe just for the summer. And what are you reading now?
What am I reading now? I'm reading in the mornings. I'm reading Ulysses by James Joyce. So
Oh, that's a nice.
Yeah.
No, you said
I like
you
read.
like to dance. in
I like
the
to
morning,
dance,
sure.
but I'm not reading it properly. I'm just like reading fragments here and there.
Oh.
Because I only had so many
Sure.
20 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, today I feel like reading
Right
this
in the middle?
section. Yeah,
It's almost like the Book of Tao.
Yeah.
Mm,
exactly. That's how I'm reading it. But he opens up my brain somehow. Like his language is so wild and amazing that it makes my own mind spark. So
It's always good to have that little bit. It's like an acetylene torch.
yeah,
It just goes into your head and goes, okay, cut away all that other junk. And
totally.
yeah,
I
beautiful writers are like that.
Yeah, I can't write without that kind of thing
Mhm.
coming into my mind. Like I need that source, and so I get really excited when I find the authors and writers that open up my mind in that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. Timothy Finley did that for me for the
Mhm.
longest time, where I would just read a page and then just go, well, I'll never write again. That's great, but it was like inspiring to think,
Totally.
God, it was a mortal.
Yeah.
A mortal did this?
Totally.
I could try. And then you do.
Yeah.
And that's really inspiring.
Well, I find like it makes me daydream, right? Like I'll read just like one sentence of Ulysses, and I won't realize I've been there for half an hour just writing
it's
my
gone.
thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll write down what I was thinking, and then I'll realize I only read a single sentence of Ulysses, but somehow it just
I can't
opened
do
up
the
a
whole
portal.
book.
But it's like, yeah, it just feels like a portal into opening up language within my own self. So
Yeah, what a beautiful gift.
yeah,
Oh my God.
it's so special.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Is there a movie?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think
That
it
would
would be
be so
terrible. It would be
cheap.
sort of
Yeah,
rich.
it's so cheap.
It'd be the worst.
I saw.
CBC did like they did the whole book, I think,
Did they?
as like one day on the radio. Just 20 different people read the whole.
Oh,
book.
that would be great.
Yeah,
That would
maybe
be
slightly,
Yeah.
summarized, but
great. But then it'd be like the whole
yeah.
Because I don't think a movie would work. No.
No, be
No.
rich.
If you could live anywhere else in the world, where would it be?
Scotland.
Why?
Because it's home.
That's all.
It's home.
Yeah.
It's my soul place, I suppose.
Maybe you'll end up back there.
Yeah.
Look for me. I'll be in the public.
Sounds good.
Well, see, an hour.
That's amazing.
Boom.
Yeah,
Just
bye.
like that. So thank you very much. Are we done? We're done. We're done. See you next week. Joe Urine is coming. Look out. Okay. Bye bye.